In this video, I'm going to be looking at paying back loans. So most loans are principal interest loans, but some people use investment loans where they only pay off the interest. So generally what you do is you pay a small amount each particular month or so on. And what happens is the loan size, your debt, actually reduces quite slowly during that period. Right, until you pay it off. Okay, we want to pay it off. Now what this calculation does here, it works out how much your monthly repayments need to be in order to pay it back over X number of years. So this particular calculation here, 25 years, we're making monthly repayments. So we've got 300 months and we've got a loan for 150,000. And we're using 7% interest. So that's working out what our monthly repayment should be. All right, now this calculation, that's simply your interest rate per period, and then it's one take your interest rate per period over the total number of periods. All right, so it looks a bit complicated. Now the other thing I can do is I can in fact use my calculator. And so that's what I want to show you, is going to the calculator. So again, if we come into our calculator, this does all the calculations you need to better do. 300, we had an interest rate at 7%, and we have a loan for 150,000. Remember, you've got to use the minus down the bottom there, 150,000. Right, we want our future value to be 0, okay, and we've got 12 payments per year. All right, so now what we're going to do is come up here and work out our payment size. This is what we need to pay every month. As you can see, it works out that value for us. All right, so coming back to our sheet over here, again, that gives us the exact answer that we're looking for. So we do have a way of working this out without using our graphics calculator, but you need to understand that you can actually do it on your calculator as well. So it's always the loan repayment size, the interest rate, one take the interest rate. Now notice that the n value, the total number of payments, has to be a minus n. Now I'll put that formula on a formula sheet for you. I think that would actually be quite useful. Now before we go today, what I want to do is talk about loan repayments versus savings. Right? So when we save money, it takes quite a while for us to grow like this. Now this graph will keep going up like that eventually, and it's going to get steeper and steeper. Because we're compounding it, it takes a fair while to get to this point here. So let's say we're looking at, this is the number of years, okay? It takes 30 years to roughly get to 500,000, and then it takes another 30 years to get to 2 million, all right? Now, if you could get to that point there quicker, then you're going to get that growth part quicker, aren't you? It's going to grow even quicker. You're going to get to that point. So you imagine bringing that graph there back this way. It's going to grow, exponentially much larger. So that's the idea. If you've got some money given to you, like a lump sum, it's really worthwhile putting that extra money into your savings account, onto your super account, because it's going to increase the amount of money that's in there. It's going to allow that compounding process to happen much better. When we come to paying off a loan, let's say we've got a $400,000 loan, we're paying it off over 30 years. All right? Notice that it takes a fair while to go from 400,000 down to the 300,000. It takes 10 years to lose 100,000. Right, the next 10 years, right, you go from 300,000 down to about 170,000, and then the last 10 years you go from there. Right? So again, if we're paying off a loan, if we can get to this point here a lot quicker, then it's going to save us a lot of money over the period of the loan. Right? So then when we start talking about banks and paying off our and reducing the amount of interest we pay, a lump sum or paying off a lot of extra money at the start can make a huge difference. And we'll talk about this in class, the processes behind that.